Hello and welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I'm Michael Pinter. I teach you how to start flipping and wholesaling houses in New York, and if you're already doing it, how to grow the business. Question today by request is, how easy or difficult is it to get a permit when you're fixing up a property, and is it a major cost to consider? That's really two questions, and they're both almost impossible to answer. Every area is different. So some places are easier to get permits. Some of the smaller villages are usually easier to get permits, although some are not. Some of the larger towns are harder to get permits, but I mean, for example, the town of North Hempstead is very difficult. Town of Hempstead, town of Orchard Bay are a little easier in Nassau. Some of the towns in Suffolk are easier. The second part of the question is it a major cost to consider? And that is not an easy thing either, because it depends what you're doing. It depends what needs to be done. Sometimes you need to get permits, right? If you're doing massive demolition or massive work on the property, you're probably going to need a permit. Sometimes you don't need permits, right? If you're not doing major work, and every single municipality is different. So I try to stay away from work that needs permits, but major rehab will need them. And it really depends on what the municipality that's in charge is involved. Is it a major cost? The actual paying for the permits usually not the major cost. The cost is usually time involved. Waiting for the permit to be approved. I just put in for a permit. I'm selling a property and there was a violation that I did not know about. So I had to put in a permit to clear up the violation. And I'm waiting for 6 weeks to get an answer on that permit. So time is the bigger issue, right? Not so much the cost. Usually the permits cost a couple of $1,000s. But you usually need a building permit. And if you're doing major work, you need a plumbing permit and you need an electrical certificate. Electrical is usually easiest, but they could tell you need to fix some things. Plumbing is more expensive. Plumbers charge a lot. And then it really depends based on the amount of work you're doing, is how much the permit's going to cost. I usually figure a few $1,000s for permits, but if you need to draw plans, then you got to pay for an architect or a draftsman to draw that up to, or an engineer. So again, a few $1,000s for permits. The issue more is along the lines of how long it's going to take. And it's a very hard question to answer because work is different. Sometimes, and again, some places there are things that you need permits for in some places where you don't need permits for in other places. The village of Malvern, if you change 2 windows, you need a permit. Most places, if you're just replacing windows, you don't need permits. Every village, every town, every area is different. But if you're doing major renovation, you got to figure on getting permits, and you got to figure the time cost of that is the biggest issue, because it can take months. Town of North Hempstead, it could take a year. So you got to just keep that in mind when you're doing major work. Not so much that, hey, this is going to screw up my budget because I'm spending, permits usually only cost $20,000. But if you're building a new house and you have to pay an architect, $20,000 just to build between all your costs, all your soft costs, that might be. But if you're just doing renovation and the guy's just doing quick drawings, it shouldn't be that expensive. A few $1,000s for permits. Again, the bigger issue is how much time it's going to take. Because if you can't do the work until the permit's issued, sometimes it takes these municipalities a long time to issue the permit. I hope this was helpful. If you want information on how I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you like these videos, please click like. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. And thank you very, very much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I know it's just not an easy question to answer because every place is different and every amount of work is different. I'm sorry, but thank you for watching.